In the news tonight, new farming tools to boost production and address commodity shortages. The University of the West Indies wants to expand its language programs.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
And very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, the use of new technology in the agriculture sector has been a key focal point at this year's Agro Fest in Queen's Park. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Indar Weir believes it can help boost food production, especially in areas where there are shortages. Rachel Agard has that story.
The Ministry of Agriculture is intensifying the use of technology to transform and transition the sector. Mr. Indar Weir says the aim is to partner with farmers on island and get more younger people from the island's educational institutions involved. The minister has also revealed the Barbados Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation is launching an artificial intelligence program to help farmers access information instantly.
We also have at the ministry the soil scanners so that we can give information faster than we did before. So a lot is going on at the ministry, a lot is going on in agriculture.
An example of the new farming method has been on display at Agro Fest. Bernard Slicer is co-founder of Indoor Vertical Farm. He says crops will be grown in a closed environment 365 days per year. A pilot project is set to be launched soon.
We actually grow the fruits, the vegetables and the herbs inside, where we control the complete environment. So humidity, temperature, CO2, water, light, everything is controlled by us. That means we can basically grow anything, anywhere, at any time. So whether it's 35 degrees outside or whether it's raining, we will have no effect on that because we control that full environment. That also gives us the opportunity to grow crops that would normally not be able to grow in this very specific climate.
Mr. Slicer says this method will include crops grown above ground.
Here in Barbados, there is a lot of, let's call it, sweet potatoes. Well, we don't use soil. So these sort of crops do not really make sense to grow in that type of, let's say, setup. Because first of all, we don't use soil, and secondly, something that grows under the ground doesn't need any LED lights or any other form of sunlight. So we would really focus on the type of crops that grow above ground. Leafy greens, peppers, tomatoes, strawberries, all these sort of crops.
AI will also be utilized for capturing data and automation on the farms. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Well, local sheep farmers are to benefit from a reduction in the cost of feed for their animals. That's because the Animal Nutrition Center has created its own product for sheep. Sean Farrell has those details.
The new animal feed will soon be on the market. This is according to consultant with the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Leroy McLean. He says in an effort to reduce the cost of the product, they have used agricultural waste, including peels from cassava flour, sweet potatoes not fit for human consumption, cottonseed, and river tamarind. The ingredients have been developed in a 14.5% crude protein, which is comparable to most commercial feeds.
What we think will also could be a game changer for farmers is that at times like this, you have a lot of grass around. So farmers have no problems with finding grass. But when the dry season starts, it's usually a big problem. So what we have done is we have taken grass and pelletized it so that it can be stored, that farmers can have use of it during the dry season.
The consultant says they're in the process of constructing a facility for semi-commercial production, which should be completed by mid-March. He adds by mid-May, some farmers should be able to access the product, but there will not be enough for all due to volume. However, he says they have the equipment on hand and farmers can invest to produce their own feed.
That comes to about $8,000. So what we, through the Farmers Incentives Program at the ministry, a farmer can actually purchase the equipment. We will provide them with the formulations and also we can do the testing for them once the feed is completed to make sure that it has the correct nutritional value. And the farmers would also be able to get a rebate for the equipment that they purchase.
Minister of Agriculture Indah Ware says he wants to see the project expanded. He says it's a good opportunity for private sector investment.
It is something that we now have to expand with the black belly sheep program. I'm pleased to see the amount of black belly sheep here on display. And you know, Barbados really is in good shape when it comes to livestock.
Agricultural officials say trials have been conducted and the feed has been well accepted by the animals. Sean Farrell, CBC News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith also visited Agro Fest to observe some of the exhibits. He wants young entrepreneurs to focus on exporting their products and services.
And one of the things that I'm hoping for is that they move outside of just showcasing in Barbados. I think it is time for them to get involved in export, and my ministry will make sure that we can do those things to help them to transition outside of Barbados, because the only way they're going to really grow the business is if they see, for example, the Caribbean as another market for them. And if they move in that direction, government will support them.
Mr. Griffith says his ministry will be planning more showcases to give entrepreneurs opportunities to advertise and show off their work.
We are looking at doing something called Youth City that will allow this to happen. Every month we're going to pitch a tent at a particular location where we believe that we can have maximum traffic and maximum impact on the clients who are coming through the YES program. So to say that I'm satisfied is definitely an understatement. I think that this is an ideal opportunity for our young people to, showcase their products.
And more news from Agro Fest, which ends today. St. Joseph farmer Nathan Crookendale has more than one reason to smile. This after his 17-month-old Brahman mixed bull won 2 categories at this year's Agro Fest. And Mr. Crookendale says he'll be back next year with his prized animal and more cattle.
I was very excited when he won his category, and then he came out best bull on show, and that was the one that shocked me. And I was very happy to win the best bull on show. And well, I was mostly looking to win the category, but I was very grateful for winning the best bull on show. I only had one thing in mind and one person down here that I really wanted to beat, and I came out and I beat him. And I was very happy to get that achievement, and to also have a bull that is not only what is a good sized bull, he's fairly young, and he's also a very good bred bull.
Well, coming up, a university academic wants greater focus placed on teaching English literature. More language options could soon be on offer for students interested in studying at the University of the West Indies Capeville campus. The announcement by head of the Department of Language, Linguistics and Literature, Dr. Cora Belgrave, and it came during the 2025 Careers Day and Awards ceremony for the department.
We're hoping to have Japanese come summer. We've added Chinese, we've added, and we're hoping to add, we've been trying to get the dean to add Swahili. So we may have a Swahili one soon. But we want to explore the languages as much as possible, especially linguistics. In linguistics, we don't just learn languages. People tend to think that linguists just know many languages. We don't learn languages. We go to the science of the language, to the core of language, what language is and how language is used in society, how language binds society together, and then how we use language to do things like educate our society, pass on the culture that we have. So as you can see, language is the core of life.
Dr. Belgrave is also stressing the importance of teaching English literature. She believes it is still needed as it helps with problem solving.
I am really sorry and sad to see literature disappearing from the schools. And then we are complaining that our societies are getting more and more violent and they don't know how to solve problems because we stop using literature. We start giving them examples of how to deal with conflict. You don't have to live through it to know how to deal with it. You can benefit from people's imagination and you can benefit from people's experience. So we really need literature in the schools, in the society. People need to go back to reading more, reading to their children, but adults need to read more too, beyond WhatsApp messages.
Barbados and other countries in the region have been warned that ghost gear, or abandoned, lost and discarded fishing gear, poses a significant threat to their fisheries sector and threatens food security. This is according to the Caribbean Regional Fisheries Mechanism, CRFM. Acting Executive Director Dr. Sandra Grant says ghost gear is a major source of aquatic pollution, threatening aquatic species and the marine environment. She says the CRFM has partnered with the Global Ghost Gear Initiative, a collective of NGOs, private sector, fishing industry, academia and governments to address that problem. A Caribbean Regional Action Plan has been developed.
CRFM and GGI signed a Memorandum of Understanding on the 8th of September in 2023 as part of their collaborative efforts to combat the growing negative impacts of ALDFG across the Caribbean. The agreement formalizes the partnership between the CRFM and GGI, which began in 2018. The CRFM Ministerial Council also affirmed its commitment and noted the strong link between ghost gear and illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing.
We'll take a break here and come back with sports news.
Sports time, good evening, I'm Damien Best. Well, Virat Kohli slammed his 51st one-day international century as India beat Pakistan by 6 wickets in today's ICC Champions Trophy in Dubai. Pakistan opted to bat first and posted 241 all out in 49.4 overs. Saud Shakil scored 62 and Mohammad Rizwan 46, while Kuldeep Yadav took 3 for 40. India then chased down the target to end on 244 for 4, putting them on the verge of reaching the semi-finals. Kohli hit an even 100, and that included 7 fours. Suresh Iyer, he contributed 56, while Shubman Gill, he added 46. Well, tomorrow's match will see New Zealand versus Bangladesh from 5 a.m. Barbados time. Live coverage will be on MCTV's ESPN channel 308. Some track and field now. Skeet edged out Innis House to take the title at the Christchurch Foundation Inter-House Sports Day, held at the school grounds in Christchurch. That's in Churchill. Skeet amassed 905.50 points, with Innis second, 901. Third went to Lynch, 765. Fourth, Talma, 734.5 points. And fifth was Wellington House, 433 points. Here's a look at the 100 meters. With the shadows lengthening at Churchill, it's the Christchurch Foundation School Inter-House Sports Day. Under 13 girls, a wall of them coming your way in the middle. The Casey Waith slips the field at 50, absolutely smashes them. Talma, aka Purple, in 13.36 seconds. Amaya Prescott of Skeet second, and Raven Frederick of Innis third. Amazingly, the boys were a lot slower. Innis, that's blue, had 4 entries and made it count. The Carry Aline is in lane 8, only showed his full potential with 5 meters left, but better late than never. The time 13.50. Housemate Rashes Payne second, and Azari Clark of Talma third. Step up to the under 15 girls once more, a full field. Skeet, that's yellow, hoping to lock up the podium, but green had a secret agent of the highest quality. Erishan Edwards Ned in lane 4. She hit autopilot with 50 meters left to win for Lynch in 13.35 seconds. Jendea Burke and Renard Jones Williams of Skeet followed. The under 15 boys were good to go and gone. This one was settled by the photo finish camera with Purple House rolling the dice late. Here comes Neandra Gooding in lane 6 of Lynch. Finished like a freight train to win in 12.42 seconds. Reese Knight of Talma, 12.43. And Josiah Ford also of Talma, 12.51. A look at the under 17 girls now. Zoom in on lanes 5 and 6. Blue and red, that's Innis and Wellington. Azaria Bourne in 5, had a little pep in her step. Finished nicely in 13.02 seconds. Sadia Edwards of Wellington, 13.25. Kenisha Strong of Innis, 13.30. Under 17 boys was another titanic tussle after 50. who could hold their form on the uneven terrain. Rashawn Hole in lane 6 would mow them down. Reps Talma in 11.53 seconds. Christopher Aline of Skeet a whisker away at 11.61. And Asher Branford of Talma third, 11.65. The big girls of the school on tap. It was a done deal on paper, and in reality, Ariel Archer of Talma in 4. You can bet house and land, only a matter of the time for reference. B-Sack Lookout, 12.47 seconds, the winning time. Alyssa Weeks of Wellington, 12.88 for second, and third went to Aviel Small of Lynch, 13.68. Well, as the lineups for the under-20 boys were announced, you felt something special was about to happen. From the gun, Jaden Green said, "Excuse me, please. I've got a date with Destiny." Time is of the essence, beats them in record time as well, 10.71 seconds. He almost ran out of Churchill and finished in Oystons. Kevin Briggs' record, set back in 2016 of 10.87 seconds, erased. Special mention to Kevion Newton of Lynch. He was second in 11.07, and Adal Seal of Innis third in 11.19. Finally, some football news. Liverpool eased to a convincing 2-0 win over reigning champions Manchester City today to extend their lead at the top of the English Premier League to 11 points. And that is my time for sports tonight. Kerry's up next with the weather details.
Good evening and welcome to the weather news. Well, instability is impacting the island. As a result, we had a few showers. The winds are moderate across the region, and convergence maintained some thunderstorms across the Guianas. The maximum temperature today was 29 degrees Celsius, the minimum 23 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 25 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 83%, which means that we do have moisture building in the atmosphere. We are expecting some showers later on tonight. Meanwhile, those winds are coming in from the east. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where instability maintained a few low-level clouds which drifted across the island. We had a few showers here in Barbados, up to 0.4 millimeter of rainfall. Now, the winds are moderate across the region. They're peaking at 90 knots. The seas moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 2.5 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. Now, later on tonight, instability will maintain cloudy periods along with some showers. Further south, convergence maintained isolated thunderstorms across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, there is a shear line maintaining wet conditions across sections of the Bahamas as well as Cuba. Elsewhere came onto the ridge, they had mostly fair skies. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 17 minutes after 6 and will set at 6 minutes past 6. Now, the first high tide, I can tell you, that will be at 2 minutes. That's 4 minutes after 2 in the early morning, and the first low at 6:48 a.m. The seas moderate in open water with swells peaking at 2.5 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. Now, the winds are coming in from the east to the east-southeast, and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. For us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect cloudy periods along with some showers. And over the next 3 days, a mix of sunshine, clouds, and showers can be expected.
Well, that's our news for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.